A continuation of that video. As you guys can see, I completely destroyed these shoes, and then I did a couple things to clean them, make it better, and none of them really worked. So in today's video, I did spend $50 to get 2 new bottles of the RESHOEVN8r detergent, which is the one that you put in the actual wash. So hopefully that definitely cleans these shoes, but you guys will have to watch to the end of the video to see what happens. So as you guys can see, I took the actual brushes, the suede, medium, and the hard bristle brush, trying to do as much as I can to actually clean these Yeezys, to get as much dirt, mud, everything off them as possible, but it really didn't seem to work, as you guys saw in the last video. So I was kind of curious, I decided to spend the money. They just released the actual detergent because it sold out instantly, and I figured because it sold out so quickly, it must be really good. There must be something behind it. And every single video they actually make on their channel, they show this stuff really working well. I've seen a lot of videos from Tony D2 Wild and people like that making these videos of the product, and it absolutely works for them. It completely cleans the prime knit, and honestly, that's what I wanted to see in today's video. So as soon as I got this stuff to my house, I put those shoes in a bag, the one that was already cleaned, threw it in the laundry, and did exactly what I was told. Put it on cold wash on low spin, and made these shoes just as clean as I possibly could. So as you guys can see, I just got them back from the washing machine, and now let's check out what they look like. As you can see, there is little to no difference from the original. It did not take out any of the dirt that was inside the prime knit originally. Maybe a little bit, maybe it just cleaned up the top layer. Honestly, they smell great. They don't look great. They look really shitty. There's still so much dirt inside the prime knit. It might just be the thickness of the prime knit when it comes to the Yeezys. So what I decided to do was take my pairs of Y3s and NMDs and do the same thing to them. So because this prime knit's so thick, I figured that it was just because of how thick they are. So as you guys can see, I used the Y3s first, and I completely cleaned them up. So the first thing I did with the actual product was went back to the laundry system. I completely took the laces out, I scrubbed them up, and made sure they were completely pristinely clean until I threw them into the washing machine. So basically I did what the best I possibly could with the actual brushes first. Made sure I got all the top layer of dirt, made sure I got the boost as clean as possible, and the outsole as clean as possible. So then when I threw them in the wash, there wasn't much work for it to do, but you could still see the signs afterwards. So the main thing that I definitely figured out when it comes to using this stuff is definitely remember to put it on cold, because it might shrink your shoes, because these don't necessarily fit me perfectly, and then when I got them out of the wash, they still fit fine. But the other pair of NMDs, which I happened to put on warm by mistake, they fit a little bit snug now. So definitely remember to do that, and don't mess up by doing that. So remember to put it on cold, low spin, and that's definitely the #1 thing that you want to remember. So as you guys can see, I did use the shoe trees in these shoes. I completely cleaned them up using the suede brush on the upper of the actual sneaker. Got as many dirt stains, but originally these Y3s weren't completely dirty. There was a couple scuffs in there, a couple stains in the boost, which I will show you in the end of the video. So definitely remember to watch through. And a quick shout out to my Instagram. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, I post tons of pictures there. I'm really trying to grow it there because I love talking to you guys. I love getting DMs, seeing comments, showing you guys just what more personal life when it comes to my Instagram stories. So definitely remember to check that out. The first link in the description. So let's get back into it. As you guys can see, I do as much as I can, especially when it comes to the boost of these sneakers, because they were really grimy. They looked kind of dirty, and the prime knit itself wasn't terrible, but there was a little bit yellowing here and there. And the one thing I was pretty worried about, especially when it came to these Y3s, is the tongue is made of leather, so I wasn't sure if it was gonna crinkle up, get really messed up, but they didn't actually get that messed up in the washing machine, as well as the actual Y3 logo. I wasn't sure if the paint was gonna wear off on those, but it actually stayed completely fine. So once I put these in the bag, I threw them in the washing machine for about 49 minutes, I think it was, and honestly, I'm kind of disappointed when it comes to the cleaning system. I think it mostly kind of takes out the smell of the sneakers. I don't really think it does too much when it comes to actually cleaning the sneakers or deep cleaning the sneakers like they show on every single video, and I think that's the #1 reason why I don't really recommend this product too much. I don't think it's perfected yet. Yes, I think it's great when it comes to deodorizing, taking out the smells of your actual sneakers or anything like that, but when it comes to the cleanliness, you guys see it really doesn't go that deep, especially with the Yeezys. Even though it's thick prime knit, it's still pretty airy, there's a lot of holes in there. It should have been able to actually get that all out, and it should have been able to clean these shoes really well. So the next thing thing I did, because I really wasn't too happy when it came to the Yeezys, and the Y3s were okay, they weren't amazing, is I took it to the NMDs. As you guys do know, the NMDs, especially XR1 Prime Knits, which I do have in the vintage white colorway, these were completely thrashed. I actually used them in the triple white Yeezy video. I took them out and I walked to the actual park in those shoes and kind of walked in the same mode that I did with the original triple whites, so I decided to clean these up in the same video because it's a little bit thinner Prime Knit, and this is how everything turned out. As you guys can see, these triple whites are still kind of dirty, completely messed up, and I'm not really too happy with how these turned out. I feel like the deep cleaning and all the videos that I've seen online, especially on, you know, the RESHOEVN8r website and then all the reviews and everything like that, I decided that I would, you know, pick it up and see how it did, and honestly, it kind of was very, very disappointing. When it comes to the Prime Knit in the upper, you can see there's still deep-rooted stains when it comes to the dirt. I mean, even if you're gonna thrash them in the mud, which people might do, there's a huge gap when it comes to the amount of people. You can see the side by side, the mud is on the left and then the right side. I think the majority of the upper dirt really came out, none of the internal dirt, because the triple whites are still extremely dirty. So as you guys know, the thinner the material is, it might be a little bit easier to clean, so that's why I decided to do it on my XR1. So now moving over to the XR1s, you guys can see that these look a little bit cleaner than they originally did. They were kind of thrashed in the mud. I think overall it definitely helped with the boost. The boost, I think, was the one reason why I would kind of recommend this, because it pretty much did clean up the boost. Any dirt stains, anything like that, any, you know, glue stains, anything like that, it kind of got it out, and I'm pretty proud of how actually it did there. But when it comes to the Prime Knit, you can see there's still a lot of dirt inside of it. It's still kind of off colored because of all the wear and tear throughout these shoes, and they really call their name the RESHOEVN8rs, but I don't really see how my shoe is new. I really don't see how clean it really is supposed to be, and all these videos I've seen from RESHOEVN8r, it really didn't live up to how those showed to me. So you guys can see there's a little bit of grass stains when it comes to that, but the overall boost looks very, very nice on these Y3s after being cleaned with the RESHOEVN8r, and the Prime Knit on these sneakers did really well. I think this was the #1 sneaker when it comes to actually getting cleaned, because maybe it doesn't have the Prime Knit upper, but it has a really thin mesh upper, and that might be the reason why it cleaned up a little bit better. And it's kind of a mixed mesh material, so it's not as easy as it looks to be clean, but it definitely turned out to be one of the easier sneakers to clean. So honestly, this is just a review, an open, completely unsponsored video, and just a completely unbiased. I have no connections to RESHOEVN8r other than that I bought their product. So this is up to you guys to decide if you want to buy this product or not. For the boost, it definitely did great. I think it cleaned that up, but for the overall Prime Knits you guys saw with the Yeezys, definitely not a great choice. Definitely be careful with your triple white Yeezys, because this